It likes your face better than it likes mine. It's focusing on you. It's a good reason. The camera's like, I know who's attractive.
Yep. Actually, where's Bruno? He's the attractive one.
He is, but I'm not talking to Bruno today because I woke up at 5 because of you, B.
Yeah, you kept still in the bed, or spot on the bed last night, buddy bear.
Oh, I'm getting my coffee. Just make yourself. Is he in? Oh no, you can't see him.
That's all right. Bruno is right off screen. You'll probably see him come in intermittently like this.
Oh, you big enough bug.
All right, buddy. Just there you go. Just relax.
Hey guys, it's Maggie.
And Zach, I think. No,
I think that's your name. You have to do the actual intro.
It's actually Zaggy. We've been told many times. So
a lot of the times people will call us Mac and Zaggy, and they'll be like, "Oh gosh, I'm sorry, Zaggy." Oh no, that's not right either.
Yeah, we had a few people this week confuse it. So I think I'm Zach, but
so I'm Mac, and this is Zaggy.
And we're bringing the holidays to a couch near you.
We're going to be doing a Q&A. It's later in the day than I wanted to do this because I was
not feeling too hot.
sleeping on the couch all day. But put myself together so we could get this done, and I have to edit it, so no mistakes. Can't make any mistakes because I don't feel like editing tonight either. And it's going to be uploaded by 8 p.m. tonight. So if you're watching this tonight, we filmed this only a few hours beforehand. Go me. Okay, so we're gonna go through the questions that were on 2 of my videos where we said, hey, do you have questions for us? And we're going to answer them, and they're kind of a range between ostomy care, living with IBD, being in a relationship, da-da-da-da-da.
So if you keep seeing us peeking down, we got the questions right in front of us on Mag's laptop right here.
Yep.
And if we don't address any questions or more arise from this video, we'll happily do another one in a few days, weeks, or whenever.
Yeah.
Time.
I think all the dogs are trying to join us. They're all staring at us. No. There's not enough room. Alright, let's jump right into it. For the first question, somebody is asking, how do I basically keep hydrated?
Yep.
It sounds like this person is losing a lot of water, especially on hotter days. So I should have gotten it. I rely on Noon tablets. There are tons of different dehydration supplements that you just pop into water. This one is a little tablet. It's like a fizzy tablet that you drop in, kind of mixes itself, and when we run out of it, it's a problem.
They actually do work pretty well. I very seldom get dehydrated. I drink tons of water, probably like 2 gallons a day, honestly. That's just what my body requires. I think it adapted to that after when I was running all the time. So I really don't get dehydrated, and anytime I'm feeling like a little achy, have a headache, or a little dehydrated, like for me, Noon is one of the few things that actually work quite well.
And the reason is it has electrolytes in it,
Yep.
which very, very simply just helps you pull the water into your intestines and into your body better than just drinking plain old water. So when he does get dehydrated and water's not enough, that's why Noon tablets or other dehydration supplements work. So yes, I rely very heavily. There are simple recipes that you can find online, like mixing sugar and salt together into water. They don't taste very good, but it's like a cheap way to get electrolytes. So that's how we do it.
So I say balancing of electrolytes, which salt and water are essentially 2 of the biggest ways. Gatorade is another option, Powerade, I guess. And there's little packets you use. The drip drop can also help.
You just have to be careful because the higher the sugar content, the more you might have issues with diarrhea, which is exactly what you don't want when you're dehydrated, because that's just going to add to your problem.
All right.
The next question is, how do you handle sweating with the bag? I'm very fortunate that I only experience this in the summertime. Stoma powder and nystatin powder if it's really bad and I start to develop a fungal infection. And if I do feel like I'm sweating so much that the bag, you just feel kind of like icky under it, under the flange, change it. Just change to a new appliance, because that hydrocolloid will better absorb the fluid off of your skin. You don't want to get it so saturated that it's like jelly sitting on your skin. Maybe that's not the best answer. If anybody has...
Holly?
Let's try that again. Maybe that's not the best answer, as my dog groans in the background. So if anybody has any tips, you can put them below. That would be awesome. All
right. So the next question, I think I can take this one. How do you handle spicy food? And short answer, she doesn't. I do.
I handle spice ever so slightly. I like wasabi. That's about the only one that I really enjoy. But otherwise, I like hot sauce on some things. But I won't go anything hardcore because I will not feel good. So,
which I think it's also more of just a personal taste preference. I love spicy foods. I eat all the crazy ghost pepper, Naga Viper, I think. There's tons of different hot peppers. I've had most of them, and they're hot, but I enjoy them. Maggie does not.
Our fridge is filled with hot sauce. So much. Although you go through it pretty quick. So
I do.
It's all right as long as you use it. What advice do you have about dating with the bag?
Open, transparent, and just like anything in a relationship, you just don't hide it from the other person, and they love you, then they'll accept you for who and what you are.
Yeah.
I don't know if what's a good term for it, but who you are.
Yeah. And I've told this story. I dated a guy with an ostomy. A friend that also has Crohn's set us up. And I started to realize, like, I don't even give a second thought to the fact that he's a bag. And then I realized he probably does the same. He probably doesn't care. So from that point forward, I just acted like, this is normal. Like, duh, I have an ostomy bag. Of course I do. What, you don't? Like, that's how I act about it. And I don't think, like, you didn't...
No, I'll say, speaking from a perspective of, I guess, as a guy, and I'm not speaking for all guys, but I think most, honestly, we just don't care too much. It doesn't bother us. It's not a negative or anything. And honestly, like, throughout most of our days, I know she has it. I just don't think... I just don't realize it's there half the time. I'm like, oh, it's just Maggie. Yeah. It's just...
It's who I am.
It's no different than going about the day thinking about how, like, someone as myself goes to the bathroom.
That's gross.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Like, you just don't really think about it.
You should get a bag. You should really look into that.
I might.
Okay, the next one. I told you somebody asked it. Is Nanners a nickname? Actually, there's a couple questions that go together. I know on a video somebody asked, is it Manners with an M like Maggie, or is it Nanners? And it's Nanners like banana.
Yep.
And is it a nickname or her name? I mean, we've always called her Nanners, but they told us, like, oh, her name's Nanners like banana at the place we got her. So I don't.
Although we have tons of nicknames for her. Nanners, Nan, Banana. Although our favorite is Potato, because when she curls up into a ball, she looks like an adorable little potato.
Yep.
So
my little sweet potato. Yeah, she's so cute. So yeah, that's Nanners.
Yep.
What helps you stay positive when life throws you a curveball?
Greetings from Germany.
Hello.
Greetings from the States.
We have had so many curveballs in our life.
That's true.
Too many for
that a normal straight ball is actually the curveball for us. So
yeah, it's like we have dealt with just a ridiculous amount of
everything.
What's like not a curse word I can say?
Insanity, chaos.
Yeah. So I feel like this is our norm, and we've kind of learned, like, we gotta roll with the punches. Like, there's no other choice, or else we're gonna go crazy.
We might not have a good answer for this one, honestly. Just
and it's, I don't know.
Being together helps a lot, though.
Yes.
Having a partner of whoever it may be, even family or close friends can definitely help, and just having a good support network is a big boost, I would say.
Yeah.
But
and just, we talk freely. Like, we're so close that we will talk about anything that's on our mind, we'll say to each other. So if we need to rant about something, we will certainly do so, and that helps get rid of some of the stress. I feel like we've had many a time where we're screaming and like, this sucks, like, what the heck? So that helps. Not the best answer, I know, I'm sorry. What did your family and friends think of the other one when they first met them?
my family loves her. Might like her better than me. No. But no, my first time they met, everyone loved Mags. They love her story, they love her personality, and think she's an awesome person.
His dad gave such a nice speech at our wedding. I wonder if I can grab a clip. If I can find an easy way to put a clip of his dad speaking, I'll put it in this.
First of all, congratulations. It's been an interesting year, yet here we are. You guys have been through so much this year, losses, health issues, and this barn. The two of you dream big, and together you make it happen. Zach has always been adventurous and never dull, yet kind and warm-hearted. Maggie, your life is a story of courage and strength. It's easy to see why my son loves you. You are even more beautiful on the inside than you are on the out.
And my dad loves him. Some of you may not know this. Zach actually lived with my dad for, I think, like a month.
It was a month or so when, after college, I got a job up in New Jersey. I was looking for a place to live. While looking for a place, he took me in for a little while, and I guess we bonded pretty well then too. So, and he also loves to mention that story as well, or the time we spent together. So
yeah, every time I call my dad, he's like, I'm just so glad that you found him. He is just the best. He's so great. Like, so yeah.
So I guess that was a pretty easy question for us. Both our respective families like us, so we're like the other one.
Have you both ever considered couples counseling, as in couples in crisis coming to see us both speak at seminars? I believe your love and bond is so strong, and many relationships and marriages would benefit from your guys' experience.
Which I think you found it funny more so because thank you for thinking so highly of us.
Yes, I was like, wow, this is so nice, but holy cow, no. Like,
I don't think we've thought about it. Maybe
no.
we could do it or be good at it.
I think, like, we just got married, and yes, we've been together for a long time, but we're not perfect. We don't film everything that we go through, or, you know, how we interact. So I don't know.
Maybe
we're working out the kinks, you know? I think everybody works on their relationship continuously.
I'd say there are some professionals that could probably do a lot better job than us, or couples that have been together 30, 40 years that have been through a lot more. I mean, we've been through a lot, but to say the least. But
can we have a break, please? Just a calm in the storm.
But thank you for thinking
yes, thank you.
about that for us. So,
how do we stay so wonderfully positive? Again, I don't know.
I think just the mutual support between one another keeps the other one going. So
yeah,
and I've just kind of always been an upbeat, happy person. So that's just my personality. I don't have a good answer outside of that for me. I just try to stay positive about everything.
He's the optimistic one in our relationship, and I am the realist. So I will bring you back down to earth, but you will lift me up, which is great. It's a great combo.
I like it.
So a couple of these are very similar to each other, and we can just like kind of explain the story of it. So one person said, why are you pescatarian, coming from a fellow vegetarian? And another person said, how hard is it to find recipes for a pescatarian diet? So we became pescatarian in college, and it was me that like initiated it. this is going to sound really goofy, but I traveled to South Africa. I studied abroad there for like a winter semester for my nursing program. And we went on a safari, and there was this rhino that very recently poachers had taken his, what do you call it, a horn? They had cut it so low that it could no longer grow back, because if you cut it high enough, they like grow back. But they cut it so low that he was just bleeding, and he was so sad. And I didn't think about it while I was there, but when I got home, I remember this very specific night, we had steak, and I got about halfway through, and I was like, ooh, I'm like thinking about where this is coming from, and I had to stop eating, and I got really nauseated. And from that point on, I said, Zach, I think I'm not going to eat meat anymore. I think I'm going to stick to fish. And that was 5-6 years ago.
It's been a long time, which honestly for me, I've started it mainly because of Mags. I personally have not really been that big of a meat eater, carnivore, or whatever. Like a lot of people love spaghetti and meat sauce. I hated spaghetti and meat sauce growing up. I just wanted pasta with plain red sauce or something.
Same.
And a lot of different dishes. So for me, it wasn't too hard of a switch. A lot of the meals I ate just generally were more catered towards that. Also, we both found it as a better like health conscious option for us, like kind of the Mediterranean, Japanese style dietary.
And it's been by far the best that I've done. Like, there are so many elements, obviously, that flare up IBD, but it has been by far the best diet I've been on with the least amount of inflammation on my own, without being on medications or anything currently, and even in college.
And I guess the reason, sorry, I look off there, we didn't go full-blown vegetarian was just more for, especially with Maggie's IBD and everything, just to make sure she gets all the proper vitamins, nutrients, minerals. I know vitamin D is often hard to get without any meat in your diet. As well as, if I've looked into it a while back, there's one amino acid that you can only get from, I guess, meat-based sources and plants.
It's not that you can't.
It's difficult.
So meat covers, I think there's 20 amino acids, and if I'm wrong, just
don't take us for faith. This is just to the best of our.
You can be vegetarian or vegan and get all of your amino acids. It's just a lot harder because you have to have such a variety of foods. Whereas if you're a carnivore, you can eat one or two different types of meats and reach all the amino acids. That's the way that I understand it.
And for yourself, I know a lot of fruits and nuts are kind of hard for you to eat just due to allergies or digestion.
And like legumes too.
Yep.
I have problems with like soy products, or I used to have it a little bit worse. I have all these weird minor allergies, but like certain fruits, my mouth will swell up. Even the avocado that I eat, I keep telling Zach, I'm like, I'm definitely allergic to this. Like, I can feel my mouth swelling up. But if I rinse with water, like, I'm still gonna freaking enjoy it, you know? Where was I going with this? I'm on a tangent now. Anyway, that's why we're pescatarian. My ultimate goal would have been vegetarian. Maybe I'll reach that one day. Who knows? And then the other part of this was, is it hard to find recipes for it? And no. I mean, we
think of any dish with meat in it and just substitute the meat for no meat or seafood product. She doesn't like it. One of my favorites personally is mussels or.
That's something that like I don't digest. So that's
almost
gross.
Almost because like a sea vegetable. I can't remember if they have. Won't get too much into anatomy there, but a very simple and lower on the food chain, so just kind of, I guess, a better health option, very good source of protein. And that's like for pasta, an easy addition, which I actually prefer over, say, a meat sauce.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's becoming even easier with products like Impossible or Beyond Meat and various other.
Which aren't the healthiest for you.
No.
But it's great every once in a while if you're like hankering for that. But what I will say is that as soon as we stopped eating meat, fish became a lot tastier to me. Like, I thought it was disgusting before and I never wanted it. growing up, and as soon as basically that was all I had, I was like, this is pretty good now. So, but yeah, we eat a lot of like salmon, tuna,
Yeah.
pastas. That's pretty much all we eat.
Yeah.
I don't know what else
And
we eat.
I guess that's also another common, just generic thing with a lot of people are concerned about with meat consumption is kind of the ethics and environmental aspects behind it, which if you're economically or just able to always get sustainable raised products, that's definitely better in general, I would say.
Yeah.
And you get better nutrition out of them than anything that's over farm or mass produced, just given what goes into creating essentially that product or meat. It's not as good quality. Like a free range chicken is better than something raised on a farm.
I mean, we see that in our eggs.
Although after raising chickens, if we ever, I don't think I could really eat chicken again. They're kind of gross.
I don't know. Ours are disgusting, so. Okay. The next one is, have you found that over the years during active Crohn's that your food intolerances change?
Question.
I
think
that's kind of hard.
Yeah, because I know, isn't it in general, like every, say, 10 to 20 years, like you can develop or lose allergies, basically?
It's not so much that. It's like, if I have active inflammation, is it harder for me to eat certain foods? I think is what you're asking, which isn't quite like allergies.
Okay.
What I will say is that when I had all of my strictures, I had 3 strictures in total. There was very little that I could eat. I was almost eating nothing because nothing was passing through. And with strictures, you have to be really careful about vegetables, certain things like that are harder to digest. That's what I had a lot of issues with. And I was basically just drinking prune juice to like get things out of me. Now, even if I have small bits of inflammation that come and go, I don't notice a whole lot of issue. Sometimes I'll tell you guys about looser output in my bag.
Yep.
That doesn't like affect me other than, shoot, I have to go empty my bag more often. Or I have to, drink more fluids because I'm getting a little bit dehydrated from it. Pain-wise, I'm fine. Like, I don't feel pain from that. So... No, not anymore. Not anymore with what I have going on. My colon was definitely the culprit with food intolerances. And now that I don't have the colon, I'm a lot better off, I'd say.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I was like to say, as with anything, it's not one size fits all. What might be optimal for her may not be for someone else. So,
yep. And that's what I...
always take her advice with a grain of salt. It's just merely advice and
yes,
not...
yes. What works for
Anything more
me
than
may
that.
not work for you, and I hope it does if you try it, but yeah. How do you deal with low energy days as someone with IBD, aka today? I go with it.
Yeah.
What did I do today? I
Nap.
slept. Yeah. That's
And-
what I have to do some days.
And we both agree. It sucks.
Yeah.
She wishes she didn't have it.
Yeah.
And I wish she didn't have it either. Just, hey, we can spend more time together. We're able to do more things. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have IBD, and I have some days where I'm more exhausted than other days. And
You just listen. Just listen to your body, and that can be hard to do, I know, in like the real world, But as much as you can, listen to your body and try and relax when you need to, and then take advantage of when you feel good.
And there's always things that can help. One thing which I've been very bad at, I haven't done for months, is I was an avid runner. Back in high school, I ran cross-country, track. I did it daily. And even up until now, I've been on and off. Cardiovascular activities was one of the best things for me personally. Makes your brain a lot clearer, your heart less strained just on any normal activity. So if you're ever able to do running, swimming, anything, biking, I guess, cardiovascular, definitely can help reduce the amount of days where you're incredibly fatigued. At first, you're going to have a lot just because your body is adapting and getting used to all of the extra exertion and strain, but for me, that's definitely been one thing. And in general, I know avoiding processed foods. I don't know if I don't think it's technically a fact. I think it might be, but processed foods in general can also just make you feel sluggish in general, and any other just unhealthy life choices.
It's kind of funny because I hear him talking about, like, if you can get into running and whatnot, and the first thing that comes to mind is, like, if you have IBD, like, where are the bathrooms on your run? Or, like, are you going to have diarrhea on your run? Or where am I going to empty my ostomy bag if I run? So the difference between a healthy person and a not so healthy person.
I know, it's...
But we balance each other out. I educate him. He educates me.
Actually, I guess one thing for running, because I know it makes your bag puff up a little bit, and for anyone else like myself, when I'm running, if I eat too soon beforehand, I get all shaken up and I just get horrible cramps. So it could be the same for each of us. Maybe just avoid food or limited water consumption for a few hours beforehand. I always had to cut off like an hour and a half beforehand for any heavy or really dense meals. I could maybe do a light snack depending on what it was, usually a banana, and then just I cut off any water consumption 30 minutes to an hour beforehand, and that helped me a lot.
Keep that in mind.
So.
All right, next question. What are both of our favorite holidays?
And for this, I think you should guess what mine is, and I should guess what yours is.
We know.
I know.
We know this.
Well, it's more fun. Maggie's favorite holiday is Thanksgiving.
I don't think that's a guess, sir. I think you knew that.
Followed, most likely, I would say Halloween, and we both love Halloween too.
Yeah.
So, but her favorite is definitely Thanksgiving.
I love Thanksgiving. And then your favorite holiday is Christmas.
It is.
So,
Hey, I love the winter. I love time with family, friends, and just, I don't know, it feels like it's the cozier time of the year. You're a nicer, more warm, snuggly attire, and just
yeah.
can hang in the house or enjoy the snow, which hopefully it sounds like we're getting a foot of snow next week, which I'm kind of excited for.
Yeah. And
Actually, not even next week, in a 4 or 5 days time.
Yeah. Well, you know it'll be on this, so you'll see it next week.
If it happens.
If it happens.
Cross your fingers, guys. How did you mentally prepare for life with a stoma?
So this is a question that is a little funny for me because I didn't necessarily get to prepare. Long story short, I went in for a resection of my ileum and then a portion of my colon. They did those resections. Everything was great. Started eating, and then those connections split. So ostomy surgery was done as an emergency procedure, and I almost died. Fun times. So I didn't get to prepare for ostomy surgery. That being said, the night before my resection surgery, I went into my dad's bedroom and he said, "Oh, you know, are you ready for tomorrow?" And I said, "Yeah. But you know what, Dad? I think I'm going to get an ostomy. I think that's going to happen." And he said, No, you heard your surgeon, 1 in a million chance. You're going to be fine. Your resection's going to go great." And I said, "Yeah, I really think I'm going to get an ostomy. I just have this feeling. I know it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, it'll happen." Week later, had a brand new stoma. So I think that I was just so sick that I was ready for any change. And I felt in my heart that a resection was not going to do it for me because I had 3, as I mentioned earlier, I had 3 strictures. They were only able to remove 2 because the last one was in my rectum, and it was close enough to basically the outside that if they removed it, I would no longer have function down there. Like, I wouldn't be able to hold anything. So I knew that stricture still existed. I had a lot of trouble with it, and I was like, I just feel like this is not going to help me.
Did you start over?
Sorry, my camera cuts off when it gets to 4 gigabytes, so I don't know what I was
Big file size.
ending on there.
Well, I think one thing, I guess I could chime in kind of from an outside perspective. Really, the biggest thing is education. I've probably said this 1,000 times, but if you don't know what you're getting into, there's more unknowns, there's more uncertainty, there's a little more fear and nervousness, anxiousness. So, I mean, before I met Mags, I knew nothing about it, honestly. And then after meeting her and just seeing how she goes about her day-to-day life, I mean, it's just something that once you educate yourself with, you have a better understanding for, you'd be more comfortable if that change in your life was to occur.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly don't wish anyone to have it if you don't need it. If it definitely, like in her case, made her feel a lot healthier and just all around better, then that, in my sense, would make it more worthwhile to have. If it came to that point in my life where I needed one,
Yeah.
I would happily take it, just knowing what I do now and being how you can pretty much go about your life as you did prior to having an ostomy.
I spend a lot
or
less
stoma.
time in the bathroom than he does, so...
It's only
that tells
Taco
you
Bell.
everything.
That's only after
Okay,
Taco Bell.
we're not going there anymore, because we had a couple of bad days here, guys.
Happens to the best of us.
Not me. But, I would say, see if your hospital has a wound ostomy continence nurse or a stoma nurse. See if you're able to do pre-education. Sometimes hospitals have the resources to do that. Sometimes they don't.
Then you always have this channel.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Or if that's not an option, talk to people who have ostomies. And the best way to find people who have ostomies, I can't talk anymore. I'm like, the best way to find people that have ostomies is talking about your need for one. Because, I mean, when I was in college, when we were in Chesapeake, I remember I was open about it. Like, yep, I got a stoma, whatever. And there were 2 other people in my dorm building that had ostomies that just, I mean, they didn't talk a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
But when they heard that I had it, instant friendship. It was like, that's how I went through my whole life. With IBD, my dad actually was the one to say, you might want to keep this quiet. You might not want to tell your friends that you have it. And I didn't listen to that. I immediately told everybody, and there were 8 other people in my 1 grade in my school that also had it, that they didn't talk about it until I started talking about it. So yeah, that's how I have found like real people in real world, not YouTube world, but real world. That's how I find other ostomy patients. Or you can come here and we can talk about ostomies, and I will try to educate as much as I can.
I will also try to help, but she is 1,000 times better.
One of these days, we should get you to change my ostomy bag. Although I could just imagine that going horribly wrong. It would be like the worst day for it.
I think I could accept the challenge.
I don't know, man. Okay, and then the last question here is, does Zach have any tips on supporting someone who has a stoma? Are you bored, Bruno?
He's been in my lap this entire time, right, buddy?
Yeah. You don't need to.
But any tips for supporting someone who has one? I think we've mentioned in a prior video is kind of learn their body language, I guess, and just how they are feeling mentally, physically, emotionally.
Because we don't always say it in words.
Yeah, the longer you're with someone, it is a lot easier to tell, and just kind of learn how to, not necessarily cope, but correct what might be causing them the pain or discomfort. And I say that because one of the most common things for Mags is she's ever not feeling too well. Like, I guess just in general, your stomach area. A heating pad is usually something that helps her, so I always ask, do you need your heating pad? I can definitely get it for her. I could tell, she has it right now with us. If her energy is just a little depleted or drained for the day, I just say, let's just like take it easy, we'll relax for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just like in any relationship, you just start to understand the person, and it is different, but in some ways it's no different than in any other relationship. When there's just someone's not doing too well that day, you kind of ask why they're not doing too well. You know them pretty well by that point, I'm guessing, and then you're able to help them cope with it or overcome it. So I guess it's no different than that. It's just like whenever someone's not doing well, you just kind of get to the root of the problem and try to find the answer the best you can.
There you go.
So,
and
I hate to be generic or vague, but it really depends on everyone's own relationship, who they're with, and just how well you know the person and how well you're able to help them. I hate doing the words like that, but it worked there.
And I forgot one more question. This is a goofy one. In the
Ooh,
snow video that went up yesterday, I got a lot of comments about where did you get your jacket and hat. I got it at Guess last year, I think online. So if you were curious, that is where I got those. I feel like I'm washed out on the camera. Oh well, that's fine. If I look like a ghost, then he probably looks ghostlier. Alright,
I
guys.
see myself. Yeah. Usual.
Might just be our voices at this point.
I'm blending into the wall in the background.
You blink your eyes, that's all you see. Oh gosh. Alright guys, thank you so much for the questions that you asked, and
hopefully we answered them to your liking.
It's a long video. If you
It was
stuck
fun.
around,
I enjoyed it.
If you stuck around this long, kudos
I
to
love
you.
getting questions. It's so much easier.
I know.
It gives you like I guess like a directive or something to follow, just like a narrative.
Yeah, and a couple of people have commented on this. They're like, Zach is getting so much more comfortable in front of the camera, which makes me happy. And he did wonderful tonight, so...
It's like anything. Like when you first got your stoma, it might have been a little challenging at first, but you adapt, overcame, and look where you are today.
Wise words from Zachary Tretton. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video for Vlogmas Day 11?
Yep.
Yeah.
Going up in 3 hours.
Well shoot, I better get to editing.
So I think we're going to cut it here, and we'll see you guys briefly.
Bye!
Sorry. Hopefully the camera didn't shift too much.
I'll ask that one first, instead of jumping in with
Wait,
sweat.
3 seconds. Alright.
If that winds up in the video, it's not my fault.
What does?
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.